Welcome back to Power Talks. We are in conversation with His Excellency Dr. Silkant Sharma, the Secretary General of SAARC. Your Excellency, as a scholar of nuclear physics yourself, to what extent do you think the nuclear power of a country contributes to its prosperity and development?
You know, nuclear power is a very big and effective solution to a whole host of problems. It meets with energy crisis. It also deals with energy crisis without damaging the environment. It is also an answer to climate change threats. The technology has been with the world for more than half a century, and people have been working on it. So today what we have in terms of technology in nuclear power is far superior to what we had, say, 40 years back. There are safety concerns which have been addressed now.
What are the downsides that you see of the nuclear power?
I personally, as a person who has dealt with nuclear energy and power for the last 25-30 years, I do not believe that nuclear power, the downsides of nuclear power are any more threatening than the downsides of various other industries. On the other hand, the concentration of highly intelligent and professional workforce which is involved in nuclear power production, it gives a far more credible assurance about its safety. So nuclear power technology today is much safer than what it was, say, in the 80s. The world community has had enormous attention focused on the danger posed by nuclear weapons. There is virtual unanimity now that nuclear weapons have no use. And as far as the science and technology is concerned, the scientists told us way back in 1956 at the first Pugwash, when Einstein was also there, that nuclear weapons are no good, they are bad.
During your tenure as the Secretary General of SAARC, what will be your major focus and your goals to achieve?
My goals and my way is already given by my member states. The SAARC agenda, which is shaped by successive summits, it has a lot on its plate, and my principal job and duty is to push that agenda as much as I can, and that agenda incorporates trade, investment, coordination in the financial matters. It also includes energy in a big way. It includes culture, education. There is a culture center which is coming up in Sri Lanka. In the field of higher education, there is a South Asian University which is coming up in Delhi. In addition, my personal endeavor over the last 1 year has been focused on a SAARC development fund which has been created by the last summit in Colombo, which sets out money from the SAARC countries to actually have project-based cooperation in the region. I have started 2 projects now. One is a project on women's empowerment. It is a very ambitious project, and through trade their economic conditions can improve and a positive and virtuous cycle can be created so that they can produce more and get more for their effort, and then their lives can be transformed. So it has just started. The SAARC Development Fund has given the money for it, and we hope that in all SAARC countries except India this project will go through.
How has your experience been traveling in different parts of South Asia?
In my career as a diplomat in the Indian Foreign Service, I have served abroad and it was really abroad in the sense that I was in the Middle East and Europe, and I traveled extensively outside the region. But this is my first opportunity to travel into South Asian region. It is a wonderful place. Your own country, Nepal, offers so much to see. The mountains and the valleys and the greenery there, and the snow peaks, they are tremendous. I have this great sense of fulfillment when I travel in South Asia, because the people are alike, their aspirations and their problems are very similar, and they have hundreds of years of historical experience which binds them together.
You worked in Switzerland and now you're in Nepal, both the countries with beautiful landscapes and great tourist destinations. What is SAARC doing to uplift the regional tourism in the SAARC regions?
SAARC has tourism on its agenda, and the mechanisms which they have put in place, they are addressing the problems in its various dimensions. Actually, a meeting took place just last month in Colombo on SAARC tourism, and they came out with a number of action points. Like 2010 will be declared as the year of SAARC tourism. The visa regulations and people-to-people transits, for them also questions are there to address, and there is a process already at hand which can do these problems, which can solve these problems. And lastly, the most important aspect of tourism is connectivity. So SAARC is looking at connectivity in land, sea, air connectivity. So we hope that in the coming months and years, we will do very definitive steps in the field of transport and connectivity, which is the mainstay of tourism.
Your Excellency, will continue with our conversation after a short break. Do stay with us.